So, how I got over the fear of cold calling. I remember when I first started my agency, I gathered a list of thousands of leads on my computer. But when it came to cold calling those leads, I get really scared. I get really hesitant. I thought I didn't have enough practice, so I continued practicing with myself and continued practicing with friends. So as I kept practicing, I prepared for every objection, for every line that they might say. And still, I didn't feel prepared when I was going to go cold call. And I knew that if I wanted to be successful, I had to get over this fear. But but there was a deep feeling in my soul, in my heart, that I'm just scared that I'm not good enough, that I might be judged, people they might make fun of me. So it just kept going on like that. I remember and when the first time came when I did my first cold call, that I got over it, I was just like, you know what, screw it, let's do the cold call. And when I first did it, I was so sweaty. My whole armpits were full of water. They were so wet from how sweaty I was. Even though the conversation just went along the lines of, "Oh hi, I'm looking for," etc., and then it's like, "Oh, he's not here," and conversation. That was really, really, really stressful as is, and because of that, I needed to improve on the way I cold call. So I kept researching and finding out how I should cold call. But in the end, I really didn't find as much luck. Because all the things that these gurus say, all the things that you find on social media, they've already been done before. And they really don't help much. So when it came to the next time of cold calling, I managed to do it twice, two more cold calls this time. And once I did, I was still sweaty, but I couldn't do another one after it. Because I was too nervous. Because it felt like it was a huge, huge burden on my back. The fear of being judged, my anxiety got the best of me. So I stopped cold calling. I set a goal for myself to cold call at least 100 times a day, and to start off with 10. And I even added as a reward, I get cookies, Chips Ahoy. But still, as no result, nothing popped up. So I was just sitting on my bed, on my desk, with all this list of leads and all these lists of prospects. I knew I couldn't give up. But what can I do? My fear is just too strong. So then came social anxiety. So let me tell you what happened next. I I called up my friend. I asked him if I can cold call in his house. I just figured the environment wasn't good enough for me. Because when I used to cold call, I did it in my car. So, and it was during the summertime and it was really very, very hot. So I couldn't take the heat, so I called up my friend. I was like, can I cold call at your house? So when I got over to his house, we started cold calling. Now, at first, I was really, really anxious. But since my friend Lucas is a very great guy, he um he sat there and just watched and helped record it. Now me, I was incredibly, incredibly nervous, but I didn't want to let him see how nervous I was. I was scared I was of cold calling, because it just made me feel like it would make him think of me as less of a man, and I would think of myself as less of a man. So I had to keep cold calling. So I kept cold calling in front of him, and I kept answering the phone calls. And inside my soul, I was very sweaty. I was really, really nervous from all of it. So after a few cold calls, I was able to like talk to owners. I was able to talk to people, and all of that. And then came the 12 o'clock hour. Now during the 12 o'clock hour is my niche was chiropractors. So most of them they closed during that time. So I took a break from that time. And when his family came home, I left and went home. But because of the social pressure, the pressure of being seen as less of a man, I had to force myself into cold calling, which made me realize that the best way to get over your fear is to do it, is to have someone to push you to do it. Even though he didn't really say he was pushing me, but him just being there indirectly pushed me to do it. And cold calling as a thing, it's already difficult as is because of the lack of human interaction over the phone. And so once I learned that, I started doing more and more cold calls. I recently learned something that helped me a lot more, which was I like to go into in person's office. Just being over the phone really didn't satisfy me. It just made me feel more anxious and more anxious. Even though I was doing fine cold calling, I didn't like it. I didn't like the idea. So I started visiting the offices. I was nervous at first, but it wasn't as much as cold calling. I found it a lot easier for me to go to the places, to go to the offices, and pitch them over there. Even though that they might say yay or nay, it still was a lot more beneficial and it felt a lot better than cold calling. And when I made it there, I was able to ask the receptionist for all the objections and all of the, because in the business industry, those receptionists are known as gatekeepers. So I asked the gatekeeper everything he's heard, and all the lines he's heard are the ones that I found from YouTube. All those lines that are from YouTube, all of them he's heard before, and he was counting them before, because he told me that the business gets around 90 cold calls a day. Just imagine how many cold calls a year. Let's do the math. That's 32,400 cold calls a year. So when I walked in person, he told me that it was a new thing. It was a new thing that someone's ever done, and increased my chances of getting the owner to sign on as a client. Because now, as the person saw me, the receptionist, he was more happy to have me in contact with the owner. So after that, I learned two lessons. That one, you just need someone to push you to do it. Even though you're scared, you need someone who will push you to do it. Because we don't like feeling the sense of being lesser than someone. We like to feel like we're great people. We like to feel superior as people. So we need someone to push us further. And then two, we need, personally for me, it was a lot better if it was a face-on-face interactions. And honestly, I want to thank you, Lucas. If you're watching this video, thank you. As always, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.